Hello. The reason I am making this video is because I need your help. I am talking about the number of unwanted telephone calls that we get every day from telemarketers, robocalls, scammers, spammers, or people who want to sell you something that you don't need. You are well aware that in this country there are billions of robocalls made for year or per year. And that when you see the caller ID, the number that shows in your telephone does not exist. And sometimes they use a bona fide number or name to trick you into recognizing the caller. And then you hear a robocall, a computer message, or someone trying to get something from you. Of course, that something is always money. So I can tell you what I do to protect myself. First of all, I have a voice message system. So it's the same as when somebody calls and I'm not home, they can leave a message. So if I see the caller ID and I don't recognize the name, I don't answer. Now, of course, there are some situations where you might get a phone call from overseas, from family. I have family overseas, and sometimes I'm afraid not to answer the phone. As it happens once, my daughter was calling me, and I thought it was a telemarketer or some fake call. But my wife fortunately recognized the area code from another country, and I was able to answer. But most of the time, when my family calls me, they use my cell phone. Usually they don't call me. Sometimes they call me at home. So if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer. Now, another thing that I do, sometimes I answer because I'm not certain. So the moment that I notice that is someone trying to sell you something, you recognize right away because they tell you, oh, how are you today? Or thank you for being a member, or congratulations, or some stuff like that. I hang up immediately. I used to ask these people not to call me, but most of the time it's a computer, so you cannot talk to anybody. And if it's a person, even if I tell them not to answer, not to call back, they will call back. So I hang up immediately. I was told not to talk to them at all, not to say anything, not to punch any numbers, not to follow their instructions, because there are so many tricks that they use. I think the basic recommendation that I like and I saw in Consumer Reports is just hang up. And if you have the capability to block those numbers, block those numbers. But that doesn't help much because they keep changing the caller ID. They will use a caller ID that is in your neighborhood, and you think it's somebody that you might know, and you answer the phone. So that's a problem. I like to know what you do. What are you doing? What are you doing to protect yourself from these calls? In my own personal experience, none of those calls are for something that you need or want. They are trying to scare you. They tell you they are from IRS, from Medicare, or they want to cut your electrical system, or they are coming to arrest you, blah, 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 blah. You have to educate yourself, I suppose. I will highly recommend read Consumer Reports, so keep up with the news and see what else can we do to protect ourselves, because I have heard very horror stories from my friends where they have been tricked into sending money, and not just a few dollars, many times in the hundreds of dollars, with many tricks, with many requests for something that does not exist. Anyway, please see. Let me know what do you recommend. What do you do, and let's try to promote this type of self-defense. That all we can do is just learn to protect ourselves, because many of these people who call you with sometimes with bad intentions are not in this country. I think we should try to make postings in different types of social media, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course, and to disseminate this type of information that might help people, particularly elderly people like me, that sometimes we fall into these traps and we listen with a good heart and we don't want to be rude, but these people do not deserve any respect whatsoever. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you. I want to share my own experience, and I hope we will continue to fight this plague. Let me know what you do. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.